All right, good morning, y'all. I say morning, it's kind of late morning. We're back out here trying to catch us some. We're gonna start off kind of targeting some isolated stuff, not really so much structure, which I will hit some structure. I'm kind of still on this flathead kick, but I got some good bait. I caught some pretty good size, well, I say good size, but white bass. And then I've got some really good sized gizzard shad that I want to use for live baits. I got them in that front live. Well, I'll show you that real quick. Check that out. So yep, so I'm gonna toss, I know I got some thread fins in there. They don't last very long, but them gizzards, they'll do pretty good. So I'm gonna toss a couple cut ones out, a couple live ones out, and we're gonna see if we can't catch us some, find us some flatheads. It's what they got going on here. So the water temp is 59 degrees right now. Okay, but what they've done for the last day, probably 2 days, is they're slowly starting to let this water come back up to summer pool, and that is awesome. That's kind of like that time of year, that is, it's exciting because there's so much stuff that's now moving out from the deeps, and they're starting to feel that the water, water's coming up, so they're going to start coming up shallow, and that's kind of where I'm at. We fished here before, but it's just been a proven spot, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit some isolated stuff up. Then I'm gonna go all the way back down to that point, and I'm gonna break out the planer boards, and we're gonna drag a little bit today because we got really good current for that today. So that's the first thing we're gonna do, is try to hit some of this isolated stuff early, and then maybe go around a point, hit some structure, whatnot. But I'm gonna put some live baits out along with cut baits today. So hopefully we can get us a good one today. I just I don't know, when that water starts coming up, because we got the yellow flowers that are kind of starting to, they've been popping up on the bank. So what happens when that water comes up, well, that bait just just dives right into them we call yellow flowers. I don't know what they're called, but they grow all along the bank here because it's that winter pool. But all that bait just rushes to that. So obviously what that does is that brings everything up from the bottom, their holes, wherever they were sitting at, and now they're gonna be cruising a little bit more shallow because that's where the bait is. Them gizzard shad I caught come out of 2 foot of water. So that just tells you that the shad they're moving up, they're getting ready to start spawning once we get into 60-degree water. Consistent 60, 2, 3, 4, right around there, them shad are gonna start moving back, and everything's just kind of a timing deal. So with any luck, we'll be kind of on the front end of that time where stuff are starting to move up. Then off that you can start to develop a pattern prior to pre-spawn. So we're kind of not quite pre-spawn yet, but we're getting there. So man, this exciting time of year for me when I finally let this water come up and I start seeing that bait go shallow. That's what I really like seeing. But let me go ahead and get some baits out and see what we can't get into. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put live shad, probably a piece of skipjack. I'm gonna do one of them small live white bass. Then I'm gonna do a cut white bass or cut shad, and then live shad. That's probably what I end up doing. So if any of y'all can remember that, because I dang sure won't, but I think it'll work out pretty good. We'll see what happens. I'm most definitely excited. Heard gobblers gobbling this morning. That tells you good things are happening. Let me get a piece of bait. All right, well, let's move on up. Didn't really have anything spectacular going on here, so we'll move on up to the other spot, and then what we'll do is we'll get the dragging after that. There we go. There we go, finally. Turn this irrigator off. Trying to take care of my shad back there. Finally. In this shallow water, 15 foot. Granted, he's not a monster. finally. What's up, buddy? What is up, buddy? Wanted you a piece of shad. Yeah, you wanted you a piece of shad. Not a bad one. At least the skunk's out of the boat. Thank you, buddy. All right, so we're gonna get the dragging. We're gonna go on ahead and we're gonna move straight across. We're gonna drag out of that big hole and drag some of that inside bend. And we're gonna go down around that point, drag it, probably come back up and drag through this later on this afternoon. But yeah, let's go over there and get to doing that. All right. Do the last one down and see what happens. Ain't been able to drag in a while because there's always been too much current. Here we go. I know we got current, so I ain't gonna say much, but he feels like a decent fish for sure. Yeah, he feels like a decent fish. Only thing is, get him on them outside boards and they're way out there. Oh man, God dog. Come on, buddy. Yeah, he's not wanting to come in easy, that's a fact. ate that piece of shad. Just like I said, I don't ever know. We do have current, so I'm not going to say a whole lot. God dog though, he is. Now he's coming to me now. He's a blue for sure. It's not a bad one. I can see that. Stay out of the other line, stay out of the other line. Yeah, that's about what I figured. Like I said, I didn't want to say much. He's not a monster. He just got the current working with him. Get him in here. Not a bad one though. I will take him. Finally caught a blue. I ain't caught a blue in a minute. Come here, buddy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Finally caught a blue. How you doing, sir? Dog, you weren't going anywhere, were you? Yeah, get the... Heck yeah. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ow, ow. Oh God. Look at that fish there, boys. Look at the belly on that dude. I mean, just out. Just feeding. Just out feeding. Let me get a picture of him. Alrighty, I appreciate it. Thank you. Finally caught me a blue, but you have got a belly on you though. That's a fact. You've been eating good. All right, thank you. Down he goes. Heck yeah. All right, so what we did on the other side is I'll show you here in a minute. Get the boat straight. Anyways, what we ended up doing is we drug, this is what I would consider a flat, especially on the river. It was just a big flat one. You can see we're over here now. We're scanning this. You can see there's structure. You know, I mean, I've drugged this before, and I have lost some stuff before, but yeah, that was the flat that we were scanning, or that we were dragging, and nothing really. I mean, we got some activity over here, but so I'm going to see if they're on this ledge, right? So this ledge is, you know, goes up to, you know, that, and then it just dumps off into, you know, I think it's like, well, we're in 45 foot of water. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag that and just see. I know we got to go through a lot of structure, but you know, like I said, I've drug it before and I've lost some stuff before, so we'll give it a heck of a try. But we got to find these fish, man. We got to find them. Yeah, I didn't think it would take too long. Look at that. There's a fish. My God, there's a fish. It's not a big one, but it's a fish. God, we've covered a lot of water. Man, we covered a lot of water. And he was hanging out in the middle of the channel, but not a big one, by no means. Come here, buddy. I know. I hear you. Your day's going about like mine is. Just, I mean, fat, man. What are y'all eating on down there? Just fat. Well, thank you, buddy. You are definitely a sight for sore eyes today. All right, let me get another piece. We got a little bit further to drag, but that'll be about it. All right, y'all, I had to hop on here real quick. I don't know what happens. This is the second video that I did I know for a fact I did an outro on, but I don't know where it's at. I don't know if they keep getting deleted or I don't have the camera rolling or something. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I want to come on here and explain this last video. Like I explained in the beginning of the video, it was, you know, they're starting to let the water come up the summer pool, which is great. So that means, you know, fishing is going to get better. But man, I rode the struggle bus all day. That was the first day in a long time that I've actually went out and fished all day because I was searching for, you know, I wanted to find bigger fish, more specifically bigger flatheads. And I spent about, I don't know, 3/4 of the day trying that. It didn't pan out. I did catch a few blues that day, and it was kind of hit or miss, you know, in some of the spots that I went shallow, you know, fishing flats. I went deep fishing ledges, and it was just the fish were sporadic. So I don't know if the fact that the shad have started moving up, and they're starting to pile up on the banks there, that maybe these fish. And of course, we've had a bright moon the last few days too, which is not a full moon yet, but it's getting there. And I think a lot of that has to deal with the fact that the fish are they're just kind of hard to, I guess hard to bite or to get to bite. Because I've seen several in the graph. I've seen some of them just up off the bottom and stuff. So I'm thinking they're taking advantage of this moonlight that we've had, and of course clear skies. And it's pretty much easy pickings for them right now, because if you noticed all the fish they did catch, they were pretty fat. So I would imagine they're feeding up pretty heavy, getting ready for this, you know, pre-spawn era, you know, getting ready to go into spawn, because our water temps are starting to creep up there. So it's about that time. But yeah, again, I don't know. I have to figure this whole. I'm still kind of learning this whole, you know, video and things. So I got to figure out exactly where my clips are. I don't know if it just didn't come, you know, get recorded or what, but I'll get it figured out. This is I'm still learning every day I get out there and do this. But like always, I appreciate you watching this one, and I catch you on the next one.